Good morning, ladies. Happy Wednesday. I hope this message finds you well. It has been a tough couple of days. I got a fever blister growing in again. My stupid scab for my dog scratch is still on there. Homework is 4 more weeks. 4 more weeks of school. And then work. Unfortunately, the kids are gone this week because it's the first week with their dad for our summer break schedule. So they're with him and his family. It gives me a break to do all this stuff in terms of work and homework and having some time, and I'm very grateful for that. But I'm kind of grateful for it, especially this week, since it's just been a lot. So, however, hopefully you have been okay. I appreciate you all checking in. I am surviving. I am alive. It is just a crazy couple weeks, but Monday we were on 2 Samuel chapter 15, and I ended at verse 15, and that is because my phone ran out of storage and I still have barely cleaned it out. So in Jesus' name, this video doesn't get cut off after our next set of recording. We're going to hop on 2 Samuel chapters 15 verse 16 through all of chapter 16. So yeah, that's what we're going to be going over today, and then off to work stuff and working from the house today I go. But let's begin our Bible study. Verse 16 goes like this. Then the king went out with all his household after him, but the king left 10 women, concubines, to keep the house. And the king went out with the people after him and stopped at the outskirts. Then all his servants passed before him, and all the Cherethites, and all the Pelethites, and all the Gittites, 600 men who had followed him from Gath, passed before the king. Then the king said to Ittai the Gittite, "Why are you also going with us? Return and remain with the king, for you are a foreigner and also an exile from your own place. In fact, you came only yesterday. Should I make you wander up and down with us today, since I go I know not where? Return and take your brethren back. Mercy and truth be with you." But Ittai answered the king and said, "As the Lord lives, and as my lord the king lives, surely in whatever place my lord the king shall be, whether in death or life, then there also your servant will be." Verse 22, so David said to Ittai, "Go and cross over." Then Ittai the Gittite and all his men and all the little ones who were with him crossed over, and all the country wept with him a loud voice, and all the people crossed over. The king himself also crossed over the brook Kidron, and all the people crossed over toward the way of the wilderness. There was Zadok also, and all the Levites with him, bearing the ark of the covenant of God. And they set down the ark of God, and Abiathar went up until all the people had finished crossing over from the city. Then the king said to Zadok, "Carry the ark of God back into the city. If I find favor in the eyes of the Lord, he will bring it back and show me both it and his dwelling in his place. But if he says thus, 'I have no delight in you, here I am, let him do to me as it seems good to him.'" The king also said to Zadok the priest, "Are you not a sayer? Return to the city in peace, and your 2 sons with you, Ahimaaz your son, and Jonathan the son of Abiathar." Verse 28, "See, I will wait in the plains of the wilderness until word comes from you to inform me." Therefore Zadok and Abiathar carried the ark of God back to Jerusalem, and they remained there. So David went up by the ascent of the mountain of Olives, and wept as he went up, and he had his head covered and went barefoot. And all the people who were with him covered their hands and went up, weeping as they went up. Then someone told David, saying, Ahithophel is among the conspirators with Absalom. With Absalom. And David said, "O Lord, I pray, turn the counsel of Ahithophel into foolishness." Now it happened when David had come to the top of the mountain where he worshipped God, there was Hushai the Archite coming to meet him with his robe torn and dust on his head. Verse 33, David said to him, "If you go on with me, then you will become a burden to me. But if you return to the city and say to Absalom, 'I will be your servant, O king, as I was your father's servant previously, so I will now also be your servant,' then you may defeat the counsel of Ahithophel for me. And do you not have Zadok and Abiathar the priests with you there? Therefore it will be that, whatever you hear from the king's house, you shall tell to Zadok and Abiathar the priests. Indeed, they have there with them their 2 sons, Ahimaaz, Zadok's son, and Jonathan, Abiathar's son. and by them you shall send me everything you hear. Last verse 37. So Hushai, David's friends, went into the city, and Absalom came into Jerusalem. 2 Samuel chapter 16, verse 1. When David was a little past the top of the mountain, there was Ziba, the servant of Mephibosheth, who met with him a couple of saddled donkeys, and on them 200 loaves of bread, 100 clusters of raisins, 100 summer fruits, and a skin of wine. And the king said to Ziba, "What do you mean to do with these?" So Ziba said, "The donkeys are for the king's household to ride on, the bread and the summer fruit for the young men to eat, and the wine for those who are faint in the wilderness to drink." Then the king said, "And where is your master's son?" And Ziba said to the king, "Indeed, he is staying in Jerusalem, for he said, 'Today the house of Israel will restore the kingdom of my father to me.'" So the king said to Ziba, "Here are all that belongs to Mephibosheth. I will get this word. Mephibosheth is yours." And Ziba said, "I humbly bow before you that I may find favor in your sight, my lord, O king." Now, when King David came to Bethlehem, there was a man from the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei, the son of Gera, coming from there. He came out, cursing continuously as he came. And he threw stones at David and all the servants of King David, and all the people and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left. Also Shimei said thus when he cursed, come out, you bloodthirsty man, you rogue." Verse 8, "The Lord has brought upon you all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose place you have reigned. And the Lord has delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom your son. So now you are caught in your own evil, because you are a bloodthirsty man." Then Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, said to the king, "Why should this dead dog curse my lord the king? Please let me go over and take off his head." But the king said, "What have I to do with you, you sons of Zeruiah? So let him curse, because the Lord has said to him, 'Curse David.' Who then shall say, 'Why have you done so?'" And verse 11, "And David said to Abishai and all his servants, 'See how my son who came from my own body seeks my life. How much more now may this Benjamite? Let him alone and let him curse, for so the Lord has ordered him. It may be that the Lord will look on my affliction, and that the Lord will repay me with good for his cursing this day.' And as David and his men went along the road, Shimei went along the hillside opposite and cursed as he went, threw stones at him, and kicked up dust. Now the king and all the people who were with him became weary, so they refreshed themselves there. Meanwhile, Absalom and all the people, the men of Israel, came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel was with him. And so it was when Hushai, the Archite, David's friend, came to Absalom, that Hushai said to Absalom, "Long live the king." Long live the king. So Absalom said to Hushai, "Is this your loyalty to your friend? Why did you not go with your friend?" Verse 18, "And Hushai said to Absalom, 'No, but whom the Lord and this people and all the men of Israel choose, his I will be, and with him I will refrain. Furthermore, whom should I serve? Should I not serve in the presence of his son? As I have served in your father's presence, so will I be in your presence.' Then Absalom said to Ahithophel, 'Give advice as to what we should do.' And Ahithophel, verse 21, and Ahithophel said to Absalom, 'Go into your father's concubines, whom he has left to keep the house, and all Israel will hear that you abhorred by your father. Then the hands of all who are with you will be strong.' So they pitched a tent for Absalom on the top of the house, and Absalom went to his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel. Now the advice in verse 23, now the advice of Ahithophel, which he gave in those days, was as if one had inquired at the oracle of God. So was all the advice of Ahithophel, both with David and with Absalom." And that is all for today's Bible study, ladies. That's a lot. Those words. Yeah. Those names. Yeah, David, I don't know how David didn't see that this was coming, considering his behavior, but to each his own. However, let's get this day moving. A lot to do. I appreciate you all. This season's going to be a little crazy, but I appreciate you all on the ride. If you need any prayer, send me a message. Love praying for you all. Stay blessed. Talk to y'all soon.